Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is great to see you. Let's begin with our heart tap and wish each other Shabbat Shalom on this beautiful, beautiful spring day. And this is obviously a big weekend as we celebrate our holiday of spring. Hopefully, you've started to prepare for Passover. The Seder plate is out. The brisket is thawed and ready to be cooked. And we're ready to celebrate tomorrow night. Let us continue with the Nigun, but a little bit of Passover as we get ready for Shabbat and the weekend. Thank you, Cantor. A Passover medley. Are you ready to go?
Am I ready to go for Pesach?
Exactly.
I have been waiting for Pesach for weeks.
Excellent. Let us welcome Shabbat. If you have candles in front of you, we invite you to light them at this time. I see the Zells are ready on my page. As we do each week, we encourage you to go into gallery view to see the members of our community. At this time where we're still separate and not yet in the sanctuary. We are going to experiment soon. We have our tech team coming in this week to begin to explore the hybrid service that we hope eventually will introduce where we're in the sanctuary and on Zoom at the same time. But for now, it's good to see everybody on Zoom. We're all in separate houses. And Rabbi Sapphire, the candles are lit. Let us pray.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Let us join together by bringing in Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem, a blessing that asks us to bring some angels into our midst, into our hearts. And so let's join together in this wonderful blessing with some of our angels.
I'm lucky to have an angel of my own right here next to me. I'm lucky that many of my family members are vaccinated. And so I'd like for my sister Alyssa to join us in some harmonies for Shalom Aleichem as we welcome the angels into our midst. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bolchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei
Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
I'm reminded of a teaching that my rabbi would tell me when I was growing up. Even amidst the the stress of your week and maybe the day leading up to Shabbat, and I'm feeling particularly stressed this week getting ready for Passover, I'm thinking of the words of my rabbi who would tell me that no matter where you are at, Shabbat is coming. It'll come no matter what. And so let's bring that Shabbatness, whether we're feeling the stress of the weekend to come or just want to wind down from the week that we have had. Shabbat is here. It is here with us now. And so we'll take a moment and sing Lecha Dodi. And I invite you to bring yourself into a consciousness of Shabbat. And let's do that together.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'lithilah. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Einei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Einei Shabbat, Nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha, ki hi mekor haberacha merosh mikerem, nesucha sof maaseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Einei Shabbat, Nekabela. Hitoreri, ki ba'oref, kumi uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai, alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Einei Shabbat, Nekabela. Yalalai, yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. We invite you, if you are able, to please rise in body or spirit as we greet the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, Olecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Openei Shabbat.
Let's now join together for words of Shema, words of oneness, words of connection, words of just listening, so we can listen to what is in our hearts.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
We are a people that has certainly known darkness in our history, but we've also known that out of darkness, light can come, and we've maintained hope through the centuries. That first moment occurred at the Red Sea, when the sea seemed to be the impediment on the path to the promised land. And then it suddenly opened, and the people rejoiced and knew at that moment that the future can be better than today. And so on this weekend of Passover, when we celebrate hope and possibility, we sing these words of Mi Chamocha to a Passover melody, the melody from Adirhu.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
And on Shabbat, we are instructed that our hearts should be full, our cups of wine or juice runneth over, and we express our gratitude rather than our desires or longing. And so at this time, we invite you to use the chat below to type in something for which you are thankful, to express your gratitude as we continue with the words Adonai Svatai Tiftach, O God, open up our hearts to the grandeur, the beauty, the wonder of this moment.
Adonai Sefatai Tiftach, V'yagid Tehilatecha, Adonai Sefatai Tiftach, V'yagid Tehilatecha, open up our lips that we may praise your name. Open up our hearts that we may feel our pain. Open up our souls and let our love make us whole. We will praise your name, Adonai Sefatai Tiftach, V'yagid Adonai, Sefatai Tifta, Viagir Tehilatecha.
Just take a moment in silent reflection, using the words of the prayer book or the meditations of the heart, and then we'll come back together with our prayer for peace.
Say shalom, Nimroma. We say shalom, Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael.
We also ask for health for those suffering, those in need of healing of body, of soul, of mind. And so let's use the chat box once again to begin to type in the names of those individuals we're thinking of this evening as the cantor leads us in the words of Misha Berach, our prayer for healing.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imo Mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And of course, we know on Shabbat, we also give thanks for the sacred moments we've shared during this past week, those God-given times. And I'm lucky to see Nancy and Howard Walk on my first panel of Zoom boxes, because I get to see them celebrate, as this week it is their 59th wedding anniversary. Some mazel tov. Any other anniversaries? Raise your hand, please. I know Susan and Marty Freed are celebrating 35 years. I see others as well. Mazel tov, mazel tov. How about, well, a recent wedding would be pretty amazing. I do want to mention Mimi and David Brown's granddaughter, who got married, Emily to Dylan. Some mazel tov. How about birthdays? If you celebrated a birthday this past week, I see Andy, I see Betty, I see lots of others as I scroll through. Happy birthday, everyone. How about you observed something new this past week, or saw something in spring, a bird, a flower pop out of the ground? That is definitely worthy of Shehechianu. How about raise your hand if this is the first year you're planning on keeping Passover? That's a challenge, but definitely worthy of Shehechianu. Well, for all these things, for firsts, let us give our thanks to God, and for these sacred times.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kilmanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kilmanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So it is Shabbat Hagadol, the Shabbat before Pesach, and it is a tradition for this to be one of the longest, greatest sermons of the year. I'm not going to promise that, but hopefully a sweet drash to inspire you on the Shabbat before Pesach. So I remember the first time I ever sang Hatikva, Israel's national anthem, while actually being in Israel. It was August 2004, and I was a first-year rabbinical student living in Jerusalem. Israeli windsurfer Gal Friedman was competing in the Summer Olympic Games. And a few classmates and I watched from a restaurant filled with Israelis. It was a sport that none of us had ever followed before, and I'm pretty sure that Gal Friedman was not that well known. But he immediately rose to stardom as a national icon when he became the first and only, thus far, Olympic gold medalist in Israeli history. I remember the restaurant erupting in loud celebration when he won gold. But I remember the medal ceremony even more. For every single person in the packed bar rose and stood at attention to sing Hatikva in one strong voice. I cried. Not for Gall Friedman or the accomplishment of an Olympic gold medal, but for our people who were recognized as a sovereign, free nation on the world stage. As long as within our hearts the Jewish soul sings, as long as forward to the east to Zion looks the eye, our hope is not yet lost. It is 2,000 years old to be a free people in our land, the land of Zion and Jerusalem. This powerful poem, written in 1878 by Naftali Herz Imber, later set to music, has become a passionate declaration of the will of the Jewish people. It speaks not only of our Zionist ideals, but of our faith and our hope. You may not know that Hatikva was inspired by a biblical passage from the prophet Ezekiel, who tells the story of God leading him to a valley filled with dry bones. God asks Ezekiel, "Mortal, can these bones live again?" Ezekiel replies with hesitation, "Oh God, only you know that." So God engages Ezekiel and says to him, "Prophesy over these bones and tell them that God will cause breath to enter them, cover them with flesh, and they shall live again." Ezekiel does as he is told, and sure enough, breath enters them. They come to life and stand on their feet. God then tells Ezekiel, "These bones are the whole house of Israel." They say, "Our bones are dried up. Ve'avda tikvatenu, our hope is lost." Naftali Herz Imber, thousands of years later, writes the morale to the story, flipping those words, "avda tikvatenu," on their head, proclaiming, "Od lo avda tikvatenu," our hope is not yet lost. When we think of the word hope, we often use it as a word to describe something that we wish for, or something that we really, really want. But the Jewish people have created a new understanding of the word hope. Hope is an action that we take to will something into being. It is not passive, rather, it is active. Notice in the prophetic text, God does not just tell Ezekiel to sit by and watch as God resurrects the bones. No, God commands Ezekiel to prophesy, to be God's partner in bringing the bones back to life. And surely the Zionists who created the state of Israel did not just sit around to watch a Jewish state be born. When we say our hope is not lost, we mean we are willing to make sure of it. This hope for salvation and redemption beats in the Jewish people's heart from generation to generation. Our sages use the term Sophia to describe this passionate value of ours. The sages ask, "Did you hearken, Sophia, for salvation? Did you not just wait for it, but turn towards it?" Sophia comes from the word scout. And the scout in our tradition is the one who doesn't just sit back and watch, but marches on to the promised land. Naftali Herz Imber also picks up on this wordplay and writes, "Ayin Litzion Sophia," and I turned toward Zion. Sophia is not just a gaze from afar, it's an active turning towards redemption. At the season of Passover, we are no stranger to this idea. Our Passover story contains many examples of this Jewish sense of hope and the actions we take to obtain it. Miriam is known in our Passover narrative as being the one to lead our people in celebration of freedom. But she does more than just celebrate after the fact. In Tractate Sota of the Talmud, we hear more of Miriam's role in the act of redemption. As a child, Miriam would say, "In the future, my mother will give birth to a son who will save the Jewish people." And once Moses was born, the entire house was filled with light. And her father arose and kissed her on the head, saying, "My daughter, your prophecy has been fulfilled." But once they put Moses into the river, her father arose and hit her on the head, saying, "My daughter, where has your prophecy gone?" And it is written, Miriam stood watch to know what would be done to him, to know what would be the ultimate resolution of her prophecy. Of course, we also know that Miriam intervenes when Pharaoh's daughter rescues Moses and offers to bring the boy's nurse to care for him. This is Miriam HaNeviah, Miriam the prophet who doesn't just wish, but takes action to fulfill God's will. During the Passover Seder, each of us is commanded to personally experience and deeply feel this sense of hope. We each journey from bondage to freedom. We taste the bitterness of slavery, but in the same meal, we eat the matzah of freedom and the karpas of birth. We open the door for Elijah and perform mitzvot to usher in an age of redemption. We welcome the stranger and feed the hungry. We understand that we must rebuild as we end the Seder with the words, "Next year in Jerusalem." Our hope is surely not lost. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks teaches that there is a difference between optimism and hope. Optimism is the belief that things will get better. Hope is the belief that together we can make things better. It doesn't take much courage to be an optimist, but it takes a great deal of courage to have hope. Jews have never, despite a history of terrible suffering, given up hope. To be a Jew is to be an agent of hope in a world full of despair. Every ritual, every mitzvah, every chapter of the Jewish story is a protest against the blind acceptance of fate. Judaism, Yisrael, is a struggle with the world as it is, an inspiration to achieve the world as it should be. Rabbi Sacks puts it simply, Judaism is the religion and Israel the home of hope. And so I ask you, what hope will you make a reality this season? How will you be a part of the Jewish story of hope and redemption? And so we will end our Seders this weekend with the words, "At the present time we are here, next year we will be in the land of Israel. At the present we are slaves, next year we will be free. Od lo avda tikvatenu, our hope is not lost."
If you're able, I invite you to please rise in body or spirit. Kolot balevav pnima, nefesh Yehudi homia, ulfate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia, od lo avda tikvatenu, hatikva bat shnot apayim, liotam chofshi be'arzenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim, liotam chofshi be'arzenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
I invite you to return to your seats as we turn in our service to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. And so if you are here this Shabbat in observance of a Yartzeit, the anniversary of the death of a loved one, or are in a period of mourning on this Shabbat, I invite you to place the names of the loved ones that you're remembering in the chat box. And as you do so, we remember those in our community and relatives of those in our community who have died in the last 30 days. Esther Markovitz Berman, the mother of Stan Berman, Susan Fleischer Breitberg, the sister of Stephanie Osser, Vera Halpern, the mother of Adam Halpern, Ilse Salton, the mother of Peggy Schramm, Jane Sherman, the wife of Elliot Sherman, Lenore Cutlow Tobin, the mother of Michael Tobin, and Gail Trackman, the sister of Joel Trackman. And on this Shabbat, we also mark the yortzites of many individuals, but the following individuals have asked that their names be read. Helene Chazin, the mother of Kathy Starr, Joan Einhorn, the mother of Cantor Roy Einhorn, Evelyn Goldberg, the mother of Norman Goldberg, and Ellen Goldberg, the wife of Norman Goldberg, Leonard Lewis, the father of Susan Solomon, Enid Starr, the mother of Julie Starr Duker and Samuel Starr. And we also add the name of Esme Page, the sister of Isabel Page. And so together, I invite the mourners among us to rise in body or spirit, if that is your practice, as we join together in these sacred words. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam Olmei Olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shmei Dekudsha Brichu. Le'la min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
So Rabbi, I know there are many announcements, but let's begin. I know Maddie put together a very short video, which I thought could introduce Passover for us. And then we'll go over some important directions and conclude with Kiddush and Motzi. So Emily, are you able to show the video that Maddie, a member of our team, was able to put together? Thanks. Thank you, Maddie. Well, we are getting ready for a lot of activity on Zoom for Passover. So I know we have a morning minyan for Shabbat tomorrow morning, but Rabbi Sherman, can you go through the calendar a bit?
Well, sure. It is Shabbat HaGadol, so certainly kind of buckle up. We have a few programs to go over. Tomorrow morning, we continue preparing for the holiday of Passover with Minyan and Torah study. We'll be studying a little bit of Shabbat HaGadol and what it has to teach us. Tomorrow afternoon at 4:30, our Families with Young Children Seder, and then followed by our Community Seder at 6 o'clock. And so we hope that you will join us. Our vision is that you will join us and then eat after. And so Sunday morning, we'll have our first day festival service at 9 o'clock. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Noah Aronson is launching his Holy Wanderers Passover retreat, a retreat that's going to explore music and mindfulness and movement and meditation and text study with a family concert at 4 o'clock. And so we hope that you'll join tomorrow at 4 o'clock and every day throughout the week at 1 o'clock for one of these incredible retreats with Noah.
And I should say, we have signed all of you up.
Yes.
We actually
That's the critical piece.
We registered and paid as a congregation. And so you're all signed up. We hope you'll join with Noah throughout the week. He's a special member of our team.
Unless we move off of Sunday, at 6 o'clock on Sunday night is our TGI Seder, TGIS Seder. The Seder is redundant, TGI Seder for families on Sunday nights. And then looking ahead on the other side of the holiday, next Saturday, we will have a morning service with Yisker and an opportunity afterwards to study with our friends at Haifa at Ol HaAvraham. Yes.
Just two incredible resources. One, for those not joining us on Zoom for Seder, Cantor Zell has once again put together a very beautiful Seder that can be accessed on the computer. And we have an incredible podcast. Rabbi Sapphire, you want to share?
Yes, I want to make sure that you check the e-blast for the link to the amazing audio podcast that 4 of our youth, Elodie and Ada Rosen and Lev and Asher Novisky, produced with several other of our friends and staff members. It is extraordinary and will certainly set the tone as we welcome Passover.
And finally, rabbinic student Rabbi Lesner.
On Monday, we get into this period of Chol HaMoed, the regular days of the festival. What on earth does that mean? What does it mean to have regular days amongst a festival? So join me on Tuesday night at 7:30. We'll have a conversation about what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, what our tradition says about it, what our rabbis say about it. Get ready. It's a mess, but we'll figure it out together. And on Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m., you can join us at the Playground. A group of us just joined together to figure out what prayer is, what it means for us, and to sort of center ourselves as we end our day. It's a lot of fun. I hope you join.
Fantastic. Our high school intern, Zach, you ready to lead us in Kiddush?
Absolutely, Rabbi. Thank you so much. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu nice and high. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
Amen. And then we may see challah. We may see people who have gotten rid of all their challah with matzah. But let us make motzi together and then we'll greet each other.
Zach, will you do us the honor?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cantor. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
I see some beautiful chalot. You can take a piece, take a bite, and now we can wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.